Good morning, guys. Today I'm driving my Audi A6 and there's a reason for that. If I'm not going to work and back, I would usually be driving my little Renault Clio RS, which, as I've said in previous videos, I absolutely love. And what I've also prematurely said in other videos is how reliable that Renault has been in the 10-11 months that I've owned it. Well, that's changed. Inevitably, I guess you would say, for a 10-year-old Renault. Few things have changed, which means I can't really drive it. I talked about in one of my previous videos that the sat nav had stopped working, and I'm hoping it was just a battery in the remote control, and also as well that the engine fan had packed up. But again, on a day like today where it's barely above freezing, an engine fan doesn't actually make that much difference. However, driving home from work last week, I pulled into the driveway, it was dark, turned the lights off, turned the engine off, and the driver's side headlights stayed on. So I did the obvious things. I turned the engine on and off, turned the lights on and off, made sure that I didn't left any indicators on, deactivated the auto lights, all those sort of things. Didn't make any difference. So I turned the engine off, went in the house, came back 20 minutes later thinking, oh well, maybe it's just a little, I don't know, glitch or something, and once the engine's been turned off for a while it'll turn itself off. But no, the light stayed on, but only the driver's side light. So I ended up going out at about 8:30 at night in the freezing cold, trying to disconnect the bulb, which I don't know if you've tried doing on a Renault Clio of that era. It's basically impossible. And obviously because the light had been on for so long, the bulb was boiling hot, so I ended up burning my finger, and basically throwing a bit of a wobbly. So the only way around it was to disconnect the battery. So I disconnected the battery, and I was in the middle of my shift, so I didn't really get a chance for a week to look at the car. Went back after a week, started the car up, started up absolutely fine, no problems in that respect with the Renault. It's been fantastic. But the lights were on, and not just the driver's light now, the passenger one as well, and they will not go off. So I now have the car booked into a local garage, which is going to look at the fault. I have looked on Google, and it does seem like it's a fairly common fault with the Renault. So hopefully it's something that can be fixed pretty quickly. And at the same time, I'm going to get him to change the fan on the engine. Also, I'm going to get him to have a look at the sat nav and MOT it and service it at the same time. So I'm probably going to be looking at a real hefty bill. But there's a reason for that, because in about a month or two's time, I am going to look at selling the car and getting something different. Not necessarily the fact that it's gone wrong, it's just the fact I want something different. And if I get all this work done, it seems like a sensible time to actually get rid. At least then whoever buys it gets a car that I know works perfectly fine. So yeah, talking too soon about the how reliable the Renault's been. It's currently sat on the driveway without the battery attached, so just as everybody said it would, but never mind. So that is the latest on the Renault Clio, and it's why I haven't driven it for a couple of weeks. Hopefully in the next video it'll all be sorted and I can go back to telling you how fantastic the car is. Until then, thanks for watching. Bye.